So this is Mangarākau on the northern west coast. Pretty wild and rugged place. Beautiful landscape, and it's a place where Māori used to live, especially in and around the inlets where we saw the Tukutuku, where there was lots of shelter and mahinga kai. But it's one of the few places now where pīngao still grows. A lot of it's been wiped out around our coastlines.
So I'm Jodie Bishop. I live in Takapua Porirua. I've come here to join the Tukutuku Wānanga and start learning about the resources down here in the South Island.
Kia ora, ko Jodie Takawingoa. I live in Rewaka now. I'm part of the Hemi whānau. It's about a reconnection for me personally, just almost like a calling, I think you get older, and when you have children too, you really want to connect into what it was like when you were a kid and just reaffirm your place, in your whānau and your iwi. And also, the kaupapa of revitalisation of our traditional practices, I think is a big part of that.
Oh yeah, well it was a pretty big adventure actually, and it actually started last night when we had a bit of a briefing about what would happen today. We scouted a few spots at first, checked the tide, checked where we could cross and things like that, just to see if there were other potential places that we could do some harvesting as well.
And it's beautiful out here, breathtakingly stunning. Moments where you just literally just have to stand still so you can take it all in. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, really dense forest and wetlands. I've never been in a place so remote before. Very natural, the air is fresher, less populated, not a lot of human activity, a lot of wildlife, a lot of birds.
It's stunning, and we live in one of the most amazing places, and they're right on our doorstep. Being out in in nature, and this particularly where we are today, is just amazing.
Through some of the restoration mahi that's happening, we have coastal care that goes on, and we're trying to revitalise or restore pīngao in a lot of the places where it's no longer grows, and especially for our kairaranga. Just be careful you don't stand on them too much where it might damage. There's so where the root's exposed, some of them you'll see a bit more of the root, and you can peel it down a bit more. And that they use those bits for cloaks. So you wouldn't use that for the tukutuku, but you do see cloaks with pīngao. I mean, there's maybe up there a bit further. There's some that are a bit more thicker and longer.
That. Obviously learnt the pūrākau around there. It's a beautiful story. First time I'd heard that story before, so that was a fabulous learning for me. And did our karakia and then had a demonstration about what it was we were looking for, and then how we could take that from the whenua in a really respectful way.
And the pūrākau is around essentially the boundary between the realms of Tangaroa and Tāne, but also where we find pīngao. So the pūrākau tells us about where we can find the resource as an oral map in a way. But yeah, so we're gonna harvest a wee bit of this for our tukutuku, and because we want to be doing it sustainably, we're just going to snip, you know, a couple of the row. As you can see, the pīngao kind of grows like a little vine, and it pops up with like down like that, curls up, and they have each little families, I guess. So you're just taking a couple on the outside, and that's our piece that we'll use for our tukutuku, which will dry golden yellow. So I've got snips or scissors. There's some of them you can see they're starting to die off. So to a point we can use those, but some of them will probably they may be too far.
You know, so we had to put in a bit of effort to get there. Some of the best things take effort to find, and definitely today was one of those. You know, and I felt a bit like an explorer.
I've seen pīngao never in its natural habitat before. Usually it's already been harvested and it's arrived, you know, to the place that we're going to be using it.
You know, I've learnt where to find it, you know, where it likes to grow, what it looks like, how to harvest it, what you do with it afterwards. You know, you set in tukutuku patterns, weaving everywhere. Oh, we've been making poi upstairs, so Chanel's been teaching us about how to process the raupo, to scrape, how you prepare it, soaking it, you know, and then scraping it, and we've found a bit of innovation in that as well, you know, what are the best tools to use, and so that was quite interesting too. And then about how, you know, how we plait it and prepare it, and then finally make our poi. So I think that was really cool.
I am just trying to extract the dense part of the raupo out so I can make it more workable to go around the poi.
It's the traditional poi, and this part's raupo, and then this is muka, and there's some harakeke in there for the ball. That's about all I know. Okay, that's looking like it's got some shape though. Yay! That's cool.
So the next part is we can basically just use this gently. Yeah. And
But this part's quite difficult too, actually.
Yeah, because you can have those. But what you can also do is split them in half.
Yeah.
What do you need?
Maybe I don't have enough paniki in there actually, because that's quite
I thought there might be some better mussel shells down on that beach.
I did see some out on the rock.
You know, when I was a child and they were building whakatū marae, and the idea of that cousins could just ring each other up and say, you know, we're building a marae and this is the date and we need you here. And I used to think about that as a younger adult and think, if someone did that and asked me to come and support that kaupapa, I'd think, what are you ringing me for? There would be nothing I could do to support that, whereas I feel like I'm learning the skills now that if that was to become a project in the future, that I would have the skills to lend some support to that kaupapa, and that's quite a powerful position to be in.
I think that one of the things I found really special about today is the wairua that's here. You know, I think that's huge. I think you feel it when you're in places of beauty and you're doing things that connect you to your ancestors. Yeah, it's an amazing feeling, and yeah, I would love more of this for everyone.